Hi there, my name is Andre Bernier. I'm a Los Angeles-based keyboardist and bassist, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Olafur Arnalds Composer's Toolkit, and more specifically, the felt piano within that Composer's Toolkit. Let's get into it. So I want to get this out of the way at the top. This Composer's Toolkit is $300 as of 2025, which is an eye-watering amount of money. And too much money. I don't think any VST is worth $300 unless you have a very specific use case in mind for it, or just unlimited money to blow. $300 is too much money. Let's get that said. It's too much money. Even from a value proposition of like, it's his real piano, I don't care. Like, that's just too much. I have the same problem with the Wolf presser, honestly. It's $150 for the Wolf presser, which is more reasonable by a factor of half. But it's still just too much money for software. I don't care what goes into making this. Why on earth is a VST piano $300? I don't want to hear it. It's too much money and it needs to come down in price. So I've said my piece on the price. However, it begs the question, is there a better piano VST at any price range? Is there a better, specifically felt piano VST? My argument is no, because I was not an easy convert to this piano. As a matter of fact, I looked for other alternatives to this piano for a long time. I started out with the Labs piano for free. If you're a hobbyist, if you're somebody that does this in their bedroom, if you're a lo-fi producer who's making beats and just wants something that sounds like a really good VST for felt piano, look no further than the free Labs soft piano, I believe it's called. It's the Labs, I'll put it up. It's this. It's amazing. It's amazing for what you get. And I graduated from this free VST to the soft cinematic brand, which is a $30 sampling of the same exact piano. They have a great little documentary where they went back to the original piano, brought it to a nicer room, got some more mics, and they sampled it again. It's fantastic. But I kept noticing something as I was getting further into mixing this piano, and that's that this piano can be very unforgiving with how the hammers present themselves within a mix scenario, as well as the mid-range. The way that the piano is voiced or is more likely recorded has resulted in a lot of mid-range buildup without that clarity that you want. And given it's an upright, this isn't necessarily something that we can blame it for. And so I started looking for other pianos. In all of my research of watching different YouTube videos, very important research, as you can hear, YouTube videos. In all of running across YouTube, looking at different videos, there were really two that I thought sounded the best. It was the Noir Felt, which you've probably already seen, and it's this, the Olafur Arnalds Composer's Toolkit Felt Grand. And these two pianos just felt different from all the other ones that I've heard, both in terms of realism, but then also in terms of quality of capture and then how they could be mixed down. Now, I do my own solo piano project known as Berlin. And if you want some really good real-world examples of this, there are certain records I did before I had this toolkit using the Labs Soft Cinematic Grand. You can hear those here. And then there are all the other records I've done post that, and those are all using this Olafur Arnalds Composer's Toolkit. It's night and day, mix-wise. You can hear it for yourself. I recommend checking it out on Spotify or Apple Music, wherever you get your music, wherever you stream. Give it a listen. It really does sound different. It really does. Is it a $300 difference? Well, that's in the eye of the beholder, but for me, yes, it is. So I made the jump from the Lab Soft Cinematic Grand to the Olafur Arnalds Toolkit, and there was an immediate difference in quality. There was an immediate difference in ease of mixing, and I think that's just what it comes down to. You just have to spend less time jostling everything into place with this instrument. This is a really, really, really good VST. As for the extra voices in the Composer's Toolkit, I don't really use them. To be honest, in making this review, I've gone back and started looking at some of the different features, and I didn't even know that a lot of these VST features even existed. I treat this like it's just a felt piano, and given that it is just a felt piano and not a comprehensive complete assortment of composers' tools the way that they want you to believe, I would say this should be priced lower. It's again part of my argument. This should be priced lower than $300, but it's a really good piano. If you're unfamiliar, this is his genuine grand piano. I think there's a YouTube thing where they go through the sampling process of it. This is the same piano that you can hear on his most famous song, Salmon? It's this one. You can see the play count. It's done well. It's beautiful. That's this piano. If you're looking to make soft felt piano, peaceful piano style stuff, this is about as good as it gets, I have to say. This is truly about as good as it gets. So already I've been talking about this too much. I want to go over to the piano and we're gonna kind of get into it, sort of look at how I use this piano. I just really want to play a whole bunch too. I mean, you've listened to me talk this long, God love you. So I think at the piano, I'm gonna try to do mostly playing, and we'll see if I stick to that promise or keep gabbing in your ear. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Here we go. Here's the piano. Look at it. There it is. Yeah, the piano. All right. We are here in front of the piano. I'm trying something new today. I don't normally do the screen recording thing, so we're gonna see if this actually works out. But right here you can see we have the Olafur Arnalds piano. So this is going to be the interface you will be greeted with. Ignore these two, the Berlin Felt Grand Close. These are my presets that I made. The presets are pretty much just this, which is to say it's the mixed version. These are just like a mix of both microphones. And then this is sort of like an ambient thing, just sort of like a pad kind of sound. I normally keep this off because I'm just interested in this as a piano, and then if I want a pad, I'm gonna add it separately and later. Let's just play around with the stock standard sound. So this is just gonna be how you hear it out of the box, no reverb, nothing. So I mentioned in the intro, I can actually play faster on this piano than a lot of other felt pianos. And a lot of other felt pianos kind of immediately fall apart when you play lines on them. I don't find this one does. Let's keep playing. So again, this is with no reverb. I generally use this with tons of reverb, so I will demo that in a second. I'm just gonna use Valhalla Vintage Verb, a fantastic reverb I cannot stop plugging. It's $50. It is the best investment you can make, I swear to God, in your music production. Valhalla Vintage Verb. We'll use that in a second. I'm gonna keep playing it dry, just kind of go around a couple key centers, see how it feels. I'm going to go through some of the different sounds on it in a little bit, but I kind of just want to hang around on this main sound for a little bit because this is my favorite way to use this. I just normally use this mixed preset. I'm also not going to get too deep into the extra voices just because I don't use them and I'm not an expert on them, and there's other videos that do that better. This is really just going to be on the felt piano sound from this toolkit, which is probably what you're paying most of the money for anyways. Again, like I said in the intro, they should discount this because I think the strength of it is the felt piano. It's kind of like selling a car and being like car and beverage center, and they just mean it has cup holders. Yeah, the cup holders are cool, but you're probably buying it because it's a car. This is the car part. The cup holders are fine, but they're nothing to write home about. But the felt piano sound is amazing. So let's keep going through that. Here it is with Valhalla. This is how I use it mostly. All right, you know what? We're going to do all of Clair de Lune. The whole thing. That's how I normally use this piano. I also do a lot of, like I said, the Berlin Project stuff. You can hear all of that on Spotify and Apple Music. Let me play sort of in that style, the peaceful piano style. I'll just make up a song as though I was, putting it towards Apple Music. So here we go. Let's look into some of the different sounds that we can get out of this. So far, we've only been on mixed. And again, I've spent most of the video here because this is really where I stay most of the time. I want to check out the mics section because this is a really, really interesting thing. So we have two different types of microphones on this VST. We have KM84s, which are very nice small diaphragm condensers, and then ribbon microphones, which are Coles 4038s. The Coles 4038s sound to me like they're in mono. I rarely use either one of these just sort of on its own, which is how I thought I'd use it when I was watching YouTube videos like you deciding to buy this product. I really thought I'd end up using just KM84s most of the time because when I get a Yamaha U3, I intend to mic it by using two KM84s. So this is the sound of just the 84s. I'm going to take off the reverb so we can really hear this just the way it's meant to be heard. How about that? Just the 84s right there. Now, let's go to just the Coles 4038s. Notice the difference here. You can hear what I mean by it sounds almost mono, right? In a way, it's kind of cool though. It reminds me of the piano quality and sound that Rudy Van Gelder gets a little bit with, especially like some of that Bill Evans stuff. This was recorded at Vanguard, this particular tune I'm going to play, but this is going to be a Gloria's Step by the immortal Scott LaFaro. It's a very, very cool sound. It's just not really, if you're coming to a felt VST hoping to find like a really clear, beautiful sound, I don't know if the Coles 4038s fully provide that. These are the microphones that were used at the BBC for a very long time. So it kind of does get that old style kind of radio sound, sort of. That might be cool in like a lo-fi setting. I could see using that for a couple different things. By and large, that's not one that I tend towards. And again, I normally use the mixed. So I'm going to spend more time on the mixed. I'm going to play a little bit more. And that'll probably be the end of the video. I really don't think I'm going to go through any of the extra voices. I'm very sorry about that. I just don't feel qualified to talk about it. I've spent so many hours with this particular piano, and I've spent almost no amount of time with those extra voices. And me combing through them going, ooh and ah, I just don't think would do it justice. So honestly, go watch some of the other demos. People do very comprehensive overviews. This I can tell you. I mentioned the velocity limiter. It's a really good thing to try out if you've never tried it. I normally use it. Essentially what it does is it keeps it, anytime I'm playing, it keeps it from spiking above a certain velocity. So right now it's on, and it's limiting it to 60, and now it's off, and so I'm getting full breath. But especially in terms of keeping things from poking out too far, a velocity limiter can be a really good way of making sure your final mix doesn't have anything poking through it. And it keeps you from having to use super heavy compression. If you've ever mixed a solo piano, you know you don't really want to squash it. It makes it sound that weird, like sustain kind of thing that's not an asset. So we're not going for that weird squashed, attack happens and then the rest of the sustain fades forward. I don't like that. You know what I'm talking about? It's a very compressed sound. It can be cool, but I'd rather it be a choice than being forced into it by the hammer's dynamics. So All this is to say, velocity limiter, good tool. Not going to use it. Just want to have that said. I'm going to play more. I'm going to show you my little preset that I've made here. Pretty much the only thing that seems really different to me is, again, this is off, which on the stock standard when it comes on, and then the pedal volume is down quite low, because by the time that I master this, it really does make the pedal quite prevalent. And I don't necessarily want it to be quite prevalent, so here's the sound of my little preset. Something just happened, and I want to touch on it, because actually it has been a great source of issues in my recording. This D right here. There, it just happened. There. That little flip. I don't know what that's called. Right there. You hear it? It can be very annoying. I don't know if it's a true acoustical thing that they captured or if it's just an issue with the sample. I hear this all the time in my mixes. Let's say I go to play something like this. You hear how it almost enters itself as a rhythmic element? Bo-do-da, wing, like it changes it somehow. That's quite annoying. Anyways, that little flip is just something to be aware of, because it's pissed me off a couple times before, and I want you to know that. Again, $300. You want to know what you're getting into. That's one weird inconsistency. The hiss, there can be like a hiss on one of these notes too. I know that sounds like a big deal. It kind of is. You can EQ it out, but one of them... I don't hear it right now. Let's keep playing a little bit more. One more Bill Evans tune. This is going to be My Foolish Heart. I'm going to go back to the original mixed sound, and we're going to do My Foolish Heart, not in Bill's key. Bill plays it in A, which is psychopathic. Sounds amazing. I'm going to do it in B flat. So that about sums it up. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I hope this was useful in any capacity, and if it was, throw it a like. It helps greatly against the YouTube algorithm. If you have a favorite felt piano VST, please let me know what it is down in the comments. I'm always looking for new information on this, and obviously this is like something I do as a job, and so I really do care about what new tech is out there. So if you have one that you swear by and this is your diehard for, please let me know what it is. I love learning new things, especially from you guys. You guys are so informative. I've learned so much from YouTube comments. I can't even tell you. So thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one.